Hello, this is Carl Cox with Cascade Strategy, and here we're going to focus what to do when a crisis hits your organization. So with that, we have 12 steps that are going to help you get in the right direction. So number one, we recommend that you put a crisis team together or a solutions team to help figure out the right steps. This team should have some cross-functional members within your group and also should have some people who have deep matter expertise to understand what's taking place. The second thing I like to focus on is facts are our friends. This is an important attribute with it. We want to make sure we embrace them. No matter what the facts are, no matter what they're going through, know what's actually happening and embrace them. The third part with that is clear the table of that group who's working on it. We can't expect them to be doing their full-time job and focus on this crisis management that needs to take place. Make sure we get things off their plate and assign other people to help backfill those duties while they're taking place. The fourth thing with this team is get it done right away. Part of clearing the table is helping make sure everybody in the organization knows that a team's working on it and they're doing the right things to get it done. So from a leadership perspective though, we now have to take a look at this. We want to be poised and be positive throughout the entire engagement and what's taking place. The leaders set the tone in the organization. And you want to make sure no matter what's happening that they know that the leadership is there to make sure that the solutions team is doing the right things. Over communicate, over communicate, over communicate. There's a reason why I said that 3 times, because basically most studies show that 70% of organizations are disengaged. About 2/3 of an audience doesn't hear at any particular time when somebody's saying something. So over communicate, don't expect that everybody knows what's happening. Third thing is ownership. One of my favorite books is called Extreme Ownership by a couple of authors that I think have just done a wonderful job of describing the differences of what it is about just having partial ownership, and no matter what's going on, you as the leader, no matter who did it, you take ownership for that responsibility and you help make sure that the right things get done. Be present. This is not the time to go out and do a bunch of trips. This is not the time to go improve your golf game. You want to make sure in a crisis that you're present, cancel your trips, make sure you know what's happening. Then once you actually figure out what's taking place, we got to get things back on track. We got to get the organization running to the right method. So we want to make sure that while things are going on, we have our solutions team, we have our leadership that's staying poised, and we want to make sure that everyone else is staying focused on getting their tasks and projects done that they need to do. The second thing is, once this solution team completes it, you want to evaluate that group. If you had some people who did a great job with it, you might want to encourage them and ask them to be on the next thing that happens. But you also want to make sure that if anybody is going outside of the bounds and the areas of crisis and how you want to manage those things, make sure they're not repeating as a part of that team. We want to make sure that people are not just trying to be firefighters, but ultimately trying to create solutions in the long run. The third part is make sure there is a real crisis you're trying to solve. We want to get away from the chicken little concepts that might take place on a regular basis. So make sure that when there is a team, you actually have a real crisis being focused on. And then the last thing you want to make sure with your team is once that everything is resolved and you got things working back on track, you want to make sure you help them get back on track by making sure you assign them duties, perhaps you push out particular objectives that they had, make sure you support them in their process. So if they are great at what they do, you can help them, encourage them to do the next things with you the next time. So with that, hopefully this is helpful with crisis management. These are 12 steps. Hope you enjoy the article that we've also attached with it. And we hope this helps out your organization to help deal with a crisis in the future. This is Carl Cox with Cascade Strategy, signing out.